in the survival chances of the visitors, Sydney FC. It's all to play for the Sky Blues. And we're in for an absolutely massive game here. Sydney FC, their destiny's in their own hands to a certain extent. If they win, they'd go a long way in booking their ticket in this competition for 2025. But wouldn't still need a few results to go their way elsewhere with their relegation rivals, Hills United, Sutherland Sharks and Central Coast Mariners. It's a four-way race for relegation on the final day here. All games, simultaneous kickoff, 3 p.m. on the Sunday here. It's round 30. It all comes down to this. Sydney FC had such high hopes for this season, and it's all coming down to 90 minutes to determine whether or not they'll be back here in the top flight of NPL New South Wales again in 2025. Certainly isn't nothing to play for, however, for the host Sydney Olympic. As you see here, Roy O'Donovan, the skipper, leading out his side for the final time, was announced by Sydney Olympic during the week that the legendary striker in this country would be playing his final game. He's scored 60 goals for the club. He's the club's fourth on the all-time goal-scoring leading tally. Absolute legend of this club, no doubt about it. Since he joined the club in 2022, had a storied A-League career and finishing off the back end of his career here in the NPL competition here in New South Wales. He's been a great servant for the club, and they'll look to send him out on a win. And Sydney FC simply here to spoil the celebrations. They've had their history, the senior side with Roy O'Donovan, and now the junior side with plenty to play for. Looking to extract some revenge on Roy O'Donovan, possibly. Plenty of storylines, plenty of angles. We've got a fascinating 90 minutes of football coming up. Stadium pitch is in immaculate condition. It's a great day for football. Final words being said from the Sydney FC huddle. They just need a win and hope that the Sharks don't do the same or win by a couple goals more. That goal difference, it might come down to that really at the end of it. Sydney FC travelling fans, the Cove, making their voice heard already, supporting their side. They want to see them back here in the top flight. They want to see the Academy Derby flourishing in 2025 again. And with the Bulls in promotion territory as well, possibly, we could have all four A-League sides back in the top flight of this competition. We're underway here in Cogra. Sydney FC wasting very little time trying to get an early goal here, possibly with a quick attack, ball over the top. It's going to come to nothing in the end, and long ball over the top. It was Quoll chested it down, and Burgess outnumbered, does well to hit it back to Peter Politis. Sam Mickelhadden with the early ball over the top will give Gus Hursflut his first touch of the ball, and that'll give us a chance to get to the starting lineups for this one. Shout out to the Cove, giving us a great atmosphere here. One of the best around. Anyway, let's get to the starting lineups. Obviously, Sydney Olympic out of finals contention, but as we said, plenty to play for here. Playing for their skipper, Roy O'Donovan, but their starting lineup, Labanot Haliti, goes with this starting lineup for the final game of the 2024 regular season. Starting off number 2, Peter Politis. Number 4, Michael Gaslock. Number 5, Ziggy Gordon. Number 8, Sam Mickelhadden. Number 9, Oliver Pufflet. Number 10, Darcy Burgess. Number 12, Zach Sorosic. Number 18, Teng Quoll. Number 19, Gianni DiPizio. 20 in goals, Chris Parsons. And leading the line up top, the number 99 for the final time in his career for Sydney Olympic. It's Roy O'Donovan. Plenty of options for Labanot Haliti to pick from off the bench. The backup goalkeeper, number 1, Montgomery Partington. Number 6, Jack Simons. Number 11, Adam Parkhouse. Number 13, Liam Rippon. Number 15, William Much. And the final substitute, number 29, is George Antonis. It's a free kick conceded there by Sydney, deep into the attacking territory. 90 seconds in to this one here. Sydney Olympic in their usual formation, whereas Sydney FC looking a bit more attacking. Here's one of their stars, Jaden Kucharski, out wide. Early chance here. It's offside. And that was a real good one. And two of the stars of this Sydney FC Academy side, Tiago Quintal and Jaden Kucharski, linking up. Quintal has been in sensational form this year, one of the breakout stars of this Academy side that has produced the likes of Jaden Kucharski. He called back into the NPL side after his long stint with the A-League side throughout the season. Just needing a bit more experience, and Kucharski, one of the most prolific goal scorers this competition had seen when he broke out a couple of years ago. He almost led Sydney FC to a finals charge single-handedly in 2022 it was, and see that charge fell away in the final moments of that season, but we know what he's capable of, and so does Coach Jimmy Van Wieren, and safe to say that's why he's picked him. So there's Olympic reset here and look to build momentum out the right is Ziggy Gordon. Another man who's had plenty of experience playing both the NPL and senior side, and that's a great win back in the middle here. Sydney FC have numbers both left and right. Falls to Kucharski on the right foot. Jaden Kucharski tried to curl it and just got underneath it. Didn't get the desired contact, and the first real chance of the game goes the way of the Sky Blues in their wide away kit. Jaden Kucharski. Gordon just a bit flat-footed there, and Kucharski cutting onto the right. You could see that coming, and Kucharski showing his senior those quick feet, and that's a great interception there by Will Kennedy, the skipper. Back out wide, Sydney putting some real pressure on, and the commentator's curse, as always, striking perfectly there as clearance by Parsons, not dealt with properly, fallen now to Quintal. Looking to retain possession, finds Kucharski, looks for the turn, but he's outnumbered, edge of the box now, out wide, can they get it back in? It's a great stop there. Fantastic, long outstretched, I think it was Gianni DiPizio filling in there, or covering, apologies for Zach Sorosic, or a collection of the both of them. Sydney showing what they've got in attack and showing some real muscle to their very much more experienced opponents today. Here's Middleton. Had DiPizio flat-footed there as Qual hits the deck, and an interception there by Zach Sorosic. Now Pufflet out wide. Plays it back to the man who won possession back for Olympic. It's Zach Sorosic. Stopped in the end there by Aaron Gerd. Now Sydney. Probably not their preferred method of attack as we've seen so far. Love winning it back in the middle and playing through those that pacey front three that they've got. Kucharski, Quintal and Kasawaya. And just pushing almost just about everyone forward in terms of that attacking 7 or so. They've got 3 back and 5 or so pushing that back 4 of Sydney Olympic, which they haven't caved into yet. They're still pushing numbers forward themselves, Olympic, which leaves the middle of the park a little bit open for both sides, respectively. Only got a couple men out there. And Kasawaya now looking to make a little dart through the middle. Here's the skipper, Kennedy. Plays it out wide, and that cross only as far as the outstretched leg of Zach Sorosic. Otaru Kamijo out there on the right. Losing possession again, Zach Sorosic had plenty of involvement to start this game. O'Donovan, first time ball over the top. 10 Qual's got room to cut in if he wishes. He's met by Aaron Gerd, gets past him. It's 10 Qual looking in the middle for Burgess. Peels for handball against Aaron Gerd, not called. Possession back with Olympic at the back post. It's Roy O'Donovan. Great save by Hostflet. Saves like that could be potentially saving their season right now. There's a great ball in by Burgess, and O'Donovan wide open at the back stick. 9 times out of 10 he's finishing that, but Gus Hofsler, who's had a stellar end to this season. One of the diamonds in the rough for Jimmy Van Weeren's side. 7 minutes in and plenty of action gone already. Is so much action we didn't even get to the Sydney FC starting lineup. So Donovan goes down the left there, and a free kick here in attacking territory. We'll get to the Sydney FC starting lineup as soon as this attack reaches its natural conclusion, but no real surprises in the lineup for Jimmy Van Weeren's side, although formation has not necessarily been abandoned, but they're playing a very free-flowing style in attack, Sky Blues are. Gonna need a chance their hand in attack. Obviously, all 10 games of the simultaneous kickoff here today. 10 Qual steps over this one. Polo driven. And offside. So it was Gus Hofsler who got to it first. We're just trying to figure out where the actual offside call was, and it might have been O'Donovan who was sneaking in at the front post, but the keeper was first to it for the Sky Blues regardless, so not much doing for them there. But let's quickly get to their starting lineup. Sydney FC, Jimmy Van Weeren goes with this team, starting number 3, Tyler Williams, number 4, Joseph Kalisic, number 5, the captain, Will Kennedy, number 8, Lachlan Middleton, number 10, Tiago Quintal, number 11 leading the line is Jaden Kaczarski. On the left of him is Pearson Kasawea, number 17 is Ayuk Mo, and number 22 is Aaron Gerd, number 24, Waturu Kamiju, and obviously in goals, number 30's had a great start to this game, Gus Hofsler. And on the bench for Jimmy Van Weeren, number 13, Jacob Brazetti, number 14, Jared Middleton, number 28, Nicholas Alfaro, number 29, Namori Conde, number 33, Mateus McAllister, number 40, Alexander Zavardinos. So that's the starting lineups for both sides. Bit of a delay in between there, but plenty of action to call in the middle of the park as we get back there now. O'Donovan for the early pass to Zorasic, and Middleton's first to it. Chance to go the other way now through Sky Blues' right side attack, which has had plenty of success so far. Gordon wins it back, and now it's Politis. Two great servants of this club. Farewelling another great servant today. Burgess looking for the 1-2, and it was Kasawaya who just got a foot to it, not enough. Great sliding challenge there, and they've won the ball back, the Sky Blues. Kalisic reigniting this attack now. Just happy to play it around at the back a little bit now. Back to Kalisic. Kasawaya. Kasawaya again. Early ball in. Kaczarski was lurking. He called for it. Put the hand up to apologise to Kasawaya for calling for it as Jimmy Van Weeren off his seat nice and early here. He blew a golden chance on Monday night to secure their spot in this competition. For next year, that is, when they played Rockdale Willindon. Side that had all but secured the premiership at that stage. Thought that they might have not necessarily thrown the towel in, but might not have taken it as 100% as possible. But as champions do, they find a way to win, and they did win against a pretty desperate Sydney FC side. You've got to think what 3 points would have done to them here. It would have been all but safe from promotion. We all love a bit of final day drama, don't we? It's one of the glories of this competition and football in general. As Kalisic clearing it away from Ten Qual, and looks like he's won his side a throw in. Would call by the linesman there. I believe that is Aranath Gobanath. The other linesman today, Alessandro Lana. Our main official in the middle, Reese Edwards, and Mia Velarde is the fourth official for today. Free kick the way of Sydney Olympic. Just hit 12 minutes past here. We were scheduled to have every game kick off at the same time, but obviously logistics do get in the way sometimes, so we do have kickoffs, just different times, that is, which should lead to even more drama and entertainment. I hope you're enjoying scrolling around the different live streams that we have here on the Football New South Wales YouTube channel. I am Dominic Cronidi, and I'll be here for both Sydney Olympic games here. Obviously, the Sydney Olympic women's will be hosting the Illawarra Stingrays at 5 o'clock, so on the conclusion of this game, don't go anywhere. As this ball goes across the middle, could have been a penalty there very easily. It was Mo who fouled Zach Zoricic. He landed in the box with the foul just at the edge of the 18-yard box. Teng Kuol with another chance to go for goal. He's forced a good save out of the Sky Blues keeper already. We've got a couple goals to report on already, one of which has a massive, massive implication on this one, because the Sutherland Sharks have taken a 1-0 lead over the St. George Saints, which means that Sydney FC would have to outdo their goal performance or hope the Central Coast Mariners lose. Let's see what they can conjure up here, Sydney Olympic. And they add more misery to the Sky Blues end of the season. Looping ball over. Quolls hit the crossbar. On the rebound, Mickle had a great save. Not out of danger, though. Quintao, backwards header. DePizio back into the possession of his side. Long ball over the top it was from Zoricic. And another free kick for Sydney Olympic. And a fantastic double save there from Hofslet. Keeping his side in this game for the time being. They've had their chances in attack, but they've had to be cautious of the threat that this Sydney Olympic side possesses in attack. Kuol earns his side their second corner of the game. Looks like Sam Mickelhadden on corner duties here at the far side. Gets it right into the middle and punched away. Cleared off the line there, but it's going to be a foul. Too many Sydney Olympic players there on Gus Hofslet for Reese Edwards' liking, and he's rightly caught a foul, as you see. The keeper picking this one up and probably taking a few more seconds than Sydney Olympic would like to take this one, but they're going to need a little breather here eventually, as crowd's starting to pile in on both decks here at that Strata Jubilee Stadium. Throwing the way of the Sky Blues. See Matthew Sim on the sideline. Jimmy Van Weeren, one of his assistants, sparking out instructions. Wasn't too long ago, 12 months ago to this day, where he scored in his farewell game, his final game as a pro. Manly United took down the Bulls FC, an already relegated Bulls FC academy. He scored a screamer in the final stages of that one, and he went off on a high. He's looking to ensure he's on the winning side here again on the final day. Kucharski's made a good run. 1-2 with Quintao, and he looked to return it to sender. Intercepted by Mickelhadden. The other way now, Pufflet. He spots Burgess in plenty of space, and O'Donovan's already making a run to the back stick unmarked. Burgess has to get past Kalisic. Does so. Gets the ball into the back stick. Falls over the head of Mo, and just a little bit too far for O'Donovan, but Zoricic there to clean up the scraps. Good ball to Pufflet. Doesn't waste any time getting into the middle. Burgess's header! Just wide of the front stick. And Olympic firing another shot across the bow. Long kick by Hofslet. Try to pick out Jaden Kucharski. The possession will retain with the host Sydney Olympic through Michael Glasslock. As I say that, the ball is kicked out. Commentator's curse hasn't been great today, to be fair. I've been cursing a lot, so I might have to stop trying to predict things. Tenqual the other way. Burgess in space, plays it out wide, but only to the feet of Kalisic. Nickel Haddon does well to try and retain the attacking possession. Falls for a handball, Cassaway. He slipped and inadvertently got a hand on the ball. Stopped its trajectory there. That one's taken early. And right next to Roy O'Donovan. Ironically enough, it was Oliver Pufflet. Went in with the high foot on Aaron Gerd. And yellow card dished out fairly quickly there by Reese Edwards. Our first card of the evening, and it's going to go to Oliver Pufflet. One of those nasty challenges, the free kick taken early. Obviously, Gerd didn't see it, and not much intent there, you'd like to say. So as we do a quick check around the grounds, the only goals being scored so far, Marconi lead the Western Sydney Wanderers 1-0. And as we mentioned earlier, Sutherland Sharks still with a 1-0 lead over the St. George Saints. Sydney FC, if they were to get a goal here, would still need a few more if the Central Coast Mariners were to remain deadlocked with Rockdale Linden as Gordon under a bit of pressure. Might have taken one touch too many, and he has, and it's going to be a throw for Sydney FC deep in their attacking third. So the Mariners and Sydney FC obviously both nil or draws at the moment. Mariners 2 points ahead. Sydney FC, if they were to get a goal, would get those 2 extra points and go to 29. But the Mariners would hold a 6-goal difference. So just need to draw the Mariners. Sydney FC, they'll be St. George Saints fans for the time being. They'll be hoping they can get a goal. The Sutherland Sharks, they've made themselves experts at getting out of these positions in years gone past. Cassaway are forced to take that about 15 metres back from where he initially wanted to take it. Gotta respect the referee sometimes for stamping their foot down. It's something that players get away with far too often, taking the throw in not on the mark in which the ball went out. Hofslet does well to pick out Quintao. He's got space to move now, Quintao. Not attracting any immediate attention. Quick ball out wide to Cassawaya. Even quicker one to Kucharski. Back onto his right. Playing it in the middle now to Middleton. Sorry, Quintao. Quintao, the edge of the box. Will Kennedy. Looking for the over-the-top ball. Quintao was going right. Ball went over the top. Bit of miscommunication there for the young Sky Blues. And possession coughed up rather easily, you'd say. Taken quickly. Michael Haddon's under pressure. Middleton's going to claim that it's his, and much to the pleasure of the pretty high popular Sydney FC fans here, they'll get a throw here again, and Cassawaya has gone through plenty of work up and down this left side alongside the skipper, Will Kennedy. Kennedy, long throw into the middle. Gordon's header went to the back post, and Mo slipped. Otherwise, you'd think he might have had a clear shot on goal there on the volley. Put it away early, and long clearance over the top. Glasslock happily shielded that away, and Chris Parsons regathers for Sydney Olympic. So Olympic been under the pump for the last couple minutes here. We'll look to spark something in attack. Sydney FC side full of running and full of energy. They're not going to stop. It's a quick 1-2 there. Tenqual, there's calls for offside. He might have timed the run perfectly. Early ball in. Pufflet, first time, hits the post. And a goal kick. And a massive get out of jail free card for the Sky Blues. Inches away from finding the opener. And Labanot Haliti. Head in his hands there. He couldn't bear to watch that one smack away across the woodwork. Positive signs though for Sydney Olympic. Zoricic clearing it away. He's looking for Tang Kuol, but he's drifted into a bit more central, and a bit more of a central position as opposed to his natural left, as O'Donovan, just for the time being, shifting into that false nine role, trying to play both his pacey wingers there of Darcy Burgess, Tang Kuol in. Zach Zoricic win that one back. He's looked very positive in the early stages of this one. The Olympic left back as Kuol stops that one from going out for a goal kick. Just as he does that, it was Waturu Kamiju. He stopped it going out for a throw. Didn't matter in the end there. Side struggling to keep possession, and it was Mo who got fouled as he gave possession away, as Labanot Haliti has a little word to the fourth official there, letting him know his thoughts on that one. Sydney FC, you look at it now, just a couple of points away from safety. You look at their last couple of games, obviously that 2-1 loss we mentioned to Rockdale or Linden. They got a massive 5-1 win over Apia Leichhardt the week before, which they wouldn't be in this position without it, but a 0-0 draw to Sydney United the week before. Pretty costly, that one. They had their chances in that. Sydney United weren't at their best. And a 5-1 loss to the Wollongong Wolves the week prior to that. Just been a bit of inconsistency in the final 6 or 7 weeks of this competition, as offside against Tiago Quintal will give Sydney Olympic reprieve in their defensive efforts for the time being. Great touch there by Pufflet. Shifted on to the left. There's a 10 call for the time being. Taken quickly, the Pizio. Glasslock, nowhere to go, has to go back to Parsons. Front three pushing forward. Zoricic handing it forward to Pufflet, onto the path of Pufflet. And just like that, back on his feet, winning the ball back for Sydney Olympic, as he always does, Zach Zoricic. It's his ball over the top, headed away, and Gerd try to keep it out. But he's sliced his clearance a little bit. It's going to be a throw for Sydney Olympic. So for the Sky Blues, as we mentioned, just one win in their last 5. 2 draws in that time helped them out, though. Obviously another draw with the Sutherland Sharks, another missed opportunity, the big relegation 6-pointer there. And then a 2-1 loss to Blacktown City. They did beat St. George City 2-1, and a 4-0 loss prior to that to the Marconi Stallions. To kind of summing up their season, such high hopes for the Sky Blues coming into this season. We knew the names, we knew the stars that they have produced, so you know this side's always going to be there or thereabouts, and everyone was just kind of waiting for them to figure it out, and they just weren't able to. Obviously plenty of injuries, and as most academy sides do, struggle with losing players to the senior side, coming up and down, and having to balance out physio requirements with playing time. Parsons' clearance didn't get as much strength as he'd like on that one, or looked for the accurate one to Burgess. They'll cough up possession in the end anyway now. Kennedy. Quick one to Middleton. Najimo. Just shifting it back into his reach. It's Tyler Williams. Possession coughed up, and plenty of numbers forward for Olympic. Nickel Haddon might not have seen it. Just went for the safe option with Politis. And playing an early ball to Burgess, who's got ground to cover if he wants to get to this one first. But Kalisic gets there, and Williams Dangerous ball across to Gerd. Poses like one of the more experienced youngsters in this side, Aaron Gerd. Politis calmly just slots it past Kaczarski to give Olympic a bit of a reprival in defence. Zoricic. Just one too many to get past, but he recovers his own mistake, Zach Zoricic. Early ball to O'Donovan. First time flick over the top to Quoll. He's offside. Good trap there by Gerd and Williams. As that man there, the number 22 will collect this one for the free kick. Early ball from Kalisic. Wasted chance again there for the Sky Blues. Not much doing. The Olympic defence were pretty alert to that one, and just a bit of a silly mistake which could end up costing them here. Slip on the ball by Pufflet. It's deemed to be a foul. Olympic will get a free kick and go quickly out the right. Politis first time to Burgess. Looks up and spots the run of Mikkel Haddon. Mikkel Haddon plays it through to himself, was trying to play O'Donovan, but Hofslet. No danger getting to that one. Hofslet giving his side a second to reset. So we do have a couple of updates from around the grounds. But Blacktown City have taken a 2-0 lead over Hills United, which is all but going to put the nail in their coffin. That'll put them in that final spot as ball over the top. Pufflet was offside, but almost got ahead to it. And they'll play on for the time being. Kennedy. So Hills United down 2-0 would need an absolute miracle to claw their way back into 15th, and then would still have to go into the relegation playoff against the Bulls FC Academy. Disappointing end for Hills United. Showed plenty of promise. Just unable to get the wins or even just convert losing opportunities into draws, which is really unfortunate. They were a good side to watch, caught plenty of their games this season. They're a fun side, and I'm sure if they are to go down today, that we will see them back here pretty shortly, just as Mount Druitt Town Rangers did. Congratulations to them for securing automatic promotion back into this competition for next year after going down in that playoff game against St. George City. St. George FC. Apologies, St. George City coming up the year before that. One side, the Central Coast Mariners and the Western Sydney Wanderers. Burgess now. It's Politis. Numbers out on the left if they want to use them. Tang Quoll. It's a great find by Quoll. Burgess got options in the middle. Went for the darting cross to O'Donovan, which he's very appreciative of, but just shielded off the ball by Aaron Gerd was Roy O'Donovan. It's out for a Sydney FC throw. On the furthest touchline there. The hill here at Cogra. Free kick, Sydney Olympic. Good chance to look back at the season that was for them, obviously in 8th spot. They struggled a bit at the start of the season. Sydney Olympic had a bit of a rough start and looked to almost put themselves out of finals contention with a bad string of form in the middle stage of the season, but they really turned it around at the back end and kind of always knew it was going to happen. This side just oozes quality and experience all around the park, really, and just needed a few things to click, which they did. Currently sitting in 8th spot, 13 wins, 3 draws and 13 losses, which is surprising considering they've got the 4th most losses in that tally in this competition, tied 4th, and 3rd least amount of draws. Obviously 13 wins puts them in a pretty good stead, but just a couple of wins off fighting for a final spot which is being contested today between Wollongong Wolves and Sydney United, who Sydney United just need a draw to keep their spot in 6th. O'Donovan now, edge of the box. Mikkel Haddon, first time, it's deflected away. And it's going to be another corner for Sydney Olympic. Are we going to get the opener here just after the half-hour mark? Taken quickly. Burgess looking for the 1-2 with Mikkel Haddon. His ball in at the back stick, headed back in the middle. Gordon laying it off. Politis that looked for it. DePizio there to clean up the scraps. Quoll goes down. DePizio gets past one. Can't get past Kennedy. Taken down there. It was Quoll, apologies, taking down Williams. It's going to be a Sydney FC free kick. Long free kick there, but straight into the head of Ziggy Gordon. Bouncing around now. Olympic just need to keep possession for a little bit. They look for the long ball over the top to Tang Quoll, who's obviously got the pace to get there, but didn't look like it was going to work out, but the football gods always have something different in mind. Kacharski wins it back and had a good chance to play Quintal through, which he did, but he's offside. They've been struggling with that a little bit, both sides here in the early stages of this one. Gordon. That one quickly. First touch finds Quoll and trying to play it back through to O'Donovan. Hofslet first to it. He's done very well, and you think if Sydney FC can keep that empty tally next to the Sydney Olympic name, I think Gus Hofslet will have his name thrown up for man of the match for sure. And if they are to stay in this competition in general, you've got to give a lot of credit to him. He's done absolutely spectacular against some of the elite attacking threats in this competition, as Mikkel Haddon goes down with the challenge of the opposing skipper there, Will Kennedy, and Politis take that free kick quickly, switching it to Zach Zorosic. Bit of room to move forward, but opts just to go back to Michael Glasslock. To Pizio. Pufflet. Pufflet loses possession on his own accord there, and Sydney FC will get the throw now. Mo to take this one. Early option with Wajimo. Possession coughed up just as quickly there by Sydney FC, and not much doing for the Sky Blues in attack in the last 15 minutes or so. They started off the game rampant. Plenty of chances. Since then, it's been all Sydney Olympic. Zorosic thought about going over the top to Pufflet. Try to go the early option to Quoll, who almost thought the same thing. Wasn't prepared for that pass. Mikkel Haddon. To Pizio. Now with Burgess. Making Camijo slide on the ground. This surface causing a bit of problems for both sets of players so far. Seen a few slips. Challenge there, Burgess wins it back. O'Donovan knows he's offside and has to play the decoy, which gives Mo the chance to recover possession now for the Sky Blues. Camijo. Mo over the top, early option. Quintal was helping back defensively and couldn't give his winger an out. Peter Politis now. Cuts past Kasawaya. It's been quiet in the last 20 minutes or so after being involved with just about everything that Sydney FC had going forward. They win the ball back here defensively, and it was a good challenge by Aaron Gerd. Mo. Flicked back. Glasslock. Just constricting Sydney FC into their own half now as Sydney Olympic. Kept in well. Mickelhadden's touch is a bit heavy and he does well to keep it now. Numbers forward. Politis out wide. And the ball goes to Pufflet instead, who's offside. And both sides again struggling to keep the linesman happy in this one. Attacking chances going by the wayside. That's all thanks to the offsides. There's just under 8 minutes to go here of regulation of the first half. And the update we can give you from the other games around, Manly United leading the Wollongong Wolves 1-0, as the Wanderers have struck back an equaliser against Marconi. So Marconi obviously can't go anywhere. Will finish second. For the Wollongong Wolves, now be 4 points behind Sydney United regardless of what happens in that one. Rule themselves out of finals contention. Which means that week one of the finals would look like Blacktown versus Sydney United and Blacktown versus Sydney United and Apia Leichhardt hosting St. George City, with the winner of those two clashes awaiting first and second place, Rockdale Linden and the Marconi Stallions. And obviously not too far from here, the Rockdale Linden Sports Centre. It'll be a bit of a party scene as Rockdale Linden officially are crowned premiers for this season. Obviously job's not done, but a well-deserved party for Nick Stavroulakis and the crew there. See Paul D as well when he returns. Throw in intercepted and cleared back into the path of Parsons. Camijo's there to meet him and he had to get that one away quickly. And it was a very good header into Pufflet, and Pankwell's offside as well, and you can sense a bit of frustration coming from the bench here of Sydney Olympic. It's the free kick here. Sydney FC taken quickly, and just a bit of you can tell the differing styles in terms of the pressing. Sydney Olympic happy to press forward a little bit, but not in the aggressive manner in which Sydney FC have done, and might work out for them here. Darcy Burgess tried to get past Aaron Gerd and collided with him. Referee's playing on for the time being, and he'll call that one back eventually for the foul. Burgess and Gerd getting caught up, tangled up with each other there. Burgess tried to get past him and show his junior what he's about. Good. Down for some treatment. Doesn't look too serious from here, but always worth checking, especially they know the importance of Gerd for that back line. Early ball now to Kucharski. 1-2 with Camijo. It's Jaden Kucharski back in the middle. And there's a wall of Sydney Olympic defenders to stop. The threat's not over. Casawaya. Early ball into Camijo. He's gone down and the referee points to the spot. And Sydney FC, given the penalty, no hesitation there from Reece Edwards. Peter Politis can't believe it. Oliver Pufflet continues his protest, but I don't think it's going to matter. Reese Edwards was adamant, and Sydney FC, after a slight pause in play, will get a penalty and a golden opportunity to book their ticket in this competition for 2025. After having a big dry spell in attack where they had no real chances, as the card is vanished, seemingly to Aaron Gerd from Sydney FC, for coming on the field too early, possibly. He's been put back out into the sideline, but back to the middle here. Jaden Kaczarski against Chris Parsons. Kaczarski scores. He sends Parsons the wrong way. No celebrations. He knows there's 45 more minutes to go to salvage their season and to keep their side in this competition for next season. But for the time being, Sydney FC leads Sydney Olympic 1-0. Now let's put the Cove back in full voice. Mickelhaddon not wasting any time. Great ball over the top, but O'Donovan's offside. One of those ones just looked too good to be true. So go back around the ground. So the Sutherland Sharks have taken a 2-0 lead over the St. George Saints. So unless the Central Coast Mariners can find a goal against Rockdale, as things stand, they would go into the relegation playoff. Just incredibly dramatic scenes here on the final day. It's what we live for as football fans and commentators. I hope you're enjoying it as much as we're enjoying commentating this. Obviously, all the other games at your disposal, feel free to switch around and have a look at what's happening. There's plenty to play for. Final spots, relegation spots, everything's up for grabs, as it will be in a couple hours when the PL New South Wales women's competition takes centre stage. The action here in the middle is Kennedy's long throw straight to the foot of Zoricic. So 3 additional minutes to play here. Kaczarski in battle there with Zoricic, and he looked to have won it, but Zoricic got a little, just a toe to that. Just enough to get it away from the Sydney FC attacker for the time being. Back with Kaczarski. It's a fair challenge from Zoricic. No complaint there from the goal scorer. Zoricic coughs up possession. Oh, spurred on by the voice of the Cove, who love what they've seen so far. Parsons tried to get it to Pufflet. He kept it in, but he jumped out before he got back in. Sydney FC will regather this one. It's the Cove. Continue to sing Jaden Kaczarski's name, trying to spur him on. Can they get another one before the break? What would that mean for the outcome of not only this game, but the relegation playoff? Ball across the deck to O'Donovan. O'Donovan! Try to find the top corner there. Hofslet probably wasn't going to get to that one, but just a little bit too much of the outside curl as it brushes away from the frame of the goal. The Sky Blues keeper will take all the time in the world to get this one up, as his side looked to go into the break up 1-0. Glasslock. Over the top. Thought about playing it to O'Donovan, but he knew he was offside and had to retract his run. Burgess was still there, though, which forced Hofslet to hoof it away. Back into an attacking third chance for Sydney Olympic. Burgess stuck a foot out there, and a bit of a dangerous one, as the referee can also see. Middleton wins the foul for Sydney FC. Just under 60 seconds of injury time remaining here. Sydney FC safe for the time being. We've got a goal at Rockdale on Central Coast, and it is with the league leaders. They have scored. Sydney FC, as things stand, would survive. Guaranteed safety if things stay this way. 45 minutes to play, and there is everything to play for both sides. The final 45 minutes of Roy O'Donovan's Sydney Olympic career. These are going to be the final 45 minutes for Sydney FC in this competition for the time being. Please join us back here in 15 minutes for the second half of action.
United 0, Marconi 1, Western Sydney Wanderers 1, Rockdale 1, Central Coast Mariners 0, Sutherland 2.
Back underway here at Net Strata Jubilee Stadium. Sydney FC leading Sydney Olympic 1-0. No changes to report from either bench. There's an early chance here for Kacharski as the bounce didn't fall away as Ziggy Gordon. Try to play it out wide to Casawaya. And the deflected clearance is going to go the way of Sydney Olympic. So an early get out of jail free card there for the visitors. But the first half, if you missed it, opening stages is dictated by Sydney FC. They came out of the blocks firing, looking for an early goal. But after the 10-minute mark, it was all Sydney Olympic showing their class. They hit the crossbar once, hit the post once, forced some great saves out of Sydney FC's shot stopper, Gus Hofslet. It's been a fascinating game of football so far. So as things stand, Sydney FC would finish in 14th, which would be enough to secure their safety in this competition. Usually the 32-point mark is safety in this competition, which has already been reached by the St. George Saints. But Sydney FC on 29 points now, alongside the Sutherland Sharks, who would finish in 13th place as things stand, as they currently still hold a 2-0 lead over the Saints. Big looking to conjure a counter-attack now as Oliver Pufflet played it through. Zoricic, pace to Burn. Tangquol's unmarked at the back stick if he can get it there. Zoricic cuts past one, cuts past two. Straight into the back of Williams, but he recovers possession. DePizio. Straight back to Zoricic. In the middle was looking for O'Donovan. It was Tyler Williams who headed it away. Sam Mickle had a nice turn. Trapped in the corner, and it's going to be a goal kick. Great bit of defensive work there by Joe Kalisic. And Sydney FC, defensively, looking solid, looking strong. There's a few gaps opening up in that first half, which allowed Roy O'Donovan to get in behind, and the pacey wingers, that, front three, that running behind O'Donovan of Quoll, Burgess and Pufflet to go through. Quoll first time over the top ball to O'Donovan. Might have fumbled his lines a little bit there, but it won't matter in the end. Offside. Free kick for Sydney FC. Sydney FC, although they would be safe, their destiny, unfortunately, not in their own hands. If the Central Coast Mariners were to get a goal back against Rockdale Linden, that would push Sydney back into 15th. And with Sutherland holding a 2-0 lead over the Saints, it's looking doubtful that they're going to have much more of a say in this relegation scrap. One of the earlier kickoffs as well, so they can seal their own fate. Their destiny's in their hands. The Mariners getting 3 points taken away from them a couple of weeks ago, and that could very well prove costly. Would have to go into the relegation playoff against the Bulls FC Academy, and all Academy scrap it would be. This would be an aerial duel going on between the two defensive sides. Burgess coming out on top and just calmly playing it back down to Ziggy Gordon. Mickelhannon looked for the early option with Burgess. He looked to have lost possession, and too much in the back there. Linesman and referee in agreement on the foul there, and it's taken very quickly. Kennedy sparking it. Looks for Camijo. Couldn't get to it. Burgess clearing it away. Throw now for Sydney FC. 2 yellow cards to report for in the first half. Oliver Pufflet first to go in the book. The high challenge on Aaron Gerd, and Aaron Gerd himself in the book. Turning here to Sydney. Playing it back across the middle. Great stop by Zoricic. Could have been 2-0 for Sydney FC there. But the Olympic left back has had some game today. He's been everywhere for the hosts. stopping an almost certain goal there. It was Camijo who had an almost clear shot at goal, and out of nowhere Zorosic making up acres of space as a free kick now for Sydney FC, and it's a bit of a rinse and repeat from the first half, if you will. Opening stages dominated by the Sky Blues. Going to score and put this one to bed. Is Reece Edwards having a word to Lavinot Haliti, the Sydney Olympic coach? Just telling him to watch his words, possibly. Ball over the top, try to find Kucharski and Gordon. Classy little flick on with the shoulder, with the chest. Back to his keeper and Chris Parsons, and Donovan thought to have been pushed in the back. He's not too happy about it in his final game for the club. The Olympic skipper. Quintal with the quick one to Middleton. Mo. Try to play it across, but again it's Zorosic there to stop it. Another goal to report from. So Blacktown City 3, Hills United 0. If that result wasn't already sealed, it all but has there the third goal for Blacktown City. Obviously Sutherland still leading the Saints 2-0. Long ball in from Williams. Try to get Casawaya at the back stick, and out on the full and a goal kick for Sydney Olympic. So the only two games without a goal, Apia Leichhardt and the Northwest Sydney Spirit, both out of deadlock there in the 56th minute. And Sydney United at home to St. George City. Possibly a finals preview if both sides can get through week 1 and 2 untouched. 6th and 5th at the moment. Sydney United be lining up for a clash against Blacktown City, which would be a thriller, Battle of the West. Whilst Apia Leichhardt would host St. George City if things stayed as is. Back to the action here in Cogra now. Tiago Quintal. Breakout star of this team this year. Gone down in the box was Camijo. Referee was pretty clear on the first penalty in the first half and didn't want to give that one away. Donovan had his shirt pulled and referee plays advantage, just puff it. Try to play Qual through. Still going now. Darcy Burgess got room to go. Gets past one, plays it through. Qual across the face, cuts it back in. He's gone down and the referee says get back up. Sydney building momentum on the counter-attack now with Kucharski. Back to Camijo. Great 1-2. Kucharski's got Mo in space on the right. He goes there. Mo cuts it back in. Jaden Kucharski. What a stop by Ziggy Gordon. Two absolutely key defensive stops for Sydney Olympic in the second half has kept this game alive for the time being. Quintal looks to get a shot off, but Mickelhausen getting the better of him there. And the captain, Will Kennedy, just a little bit too aggressive. Calls for a card. Not given, as Lavinot Haliti lines up his first substitution of the afternoon, and it's going to be Adam Parkhouse. Possibly a triple sub here. Tenqual's still down. Just seeing that on the other side from that penalty appeal. So Adam Parkhouse will be coming on. And it looks like George Antonis as well. So Jack Simons, Liam Rippon and Adam Parkhouse all being readied. of danger there through Glasslock. He's threatened to go forward a few times this afternoon. Does so there and almost sparking a nice little counter-attack for his side. So looks like Ripon was told to come on, but has put the bib back on, so it might just be a double substitution here for Labanot Haliti. And Sydney clear that one away. Mal's got space to go forward, but great shielding off there by Zach Zoricic. Parsons under pressure, had to get rid of that one first time. Headed back into play. Now Quintal thought about it. Played Kaczarski. Great 1-2. Back to Kaczarski. Now Jaden Kaczarski! Their fate might be out of their hands, but Sydney FC are doing all they can, and they've doubled their lead. A fantastic start to the second half. Jaden Kaczarski has a double. And the Sky Blues on the final day having a field day in attack. So 4 substitutions now for Sydney Olympic. First of them to come off, Sam Mickelhadden. 10 Qualls also off. Oliver Pufflet and Zach Zoricic look to be the other men that will make way. And the final substitution as well there, George Antonis. Gianni DiPizio will be taken off from the middle. So Labanot Haliti, possibly one of the only quadruple substitutions you'll ever see, let alone this season.
Number 18, Tim Paul, and number 19, Gianni DiPizio. And they were replaced by number 6,
Simmons.
Jack Simmons.
Zoricic pushing forward. Plays it through to the fresh Parkhouse. Rippon's in the middle. First time for O'Donovan over the bar. And Zach Zoricic, who set that one up with a great run through the middle, has been given a yellow card in back play. So Sydney FC seemingly with the result in their favour, but not too far from here is where their fate will be determined. They just need Rockdale to keep that lead. And the commentator's curse strikes again. Central Coast have equalised. It is 1-1. So as things stand, despite the 2-0 lead, Sydney FC would go down on goal difference unless they can find 5 goals in the final half an hour here. Parkhouse, his ball in the middle. Burgess has a go. Deflected away, but danger's not cleared. Burgess went down. Referee waves it off. Kaczarski again been central to everything they've been doing going forward, the Sky Blues. Casawaya, can he get past Dickie Gordon? He's got him for pace. Does he have him for strength, though? The transitional attack now from Sydney Olympic. They've done well to recover, and it's Burgess, the man who almost found the back of the net moments ago, recovering possession. Is the fresh, one of the fresh substitutes, George Antonis. Zoricic to Parkhouse. Gets it back in the middle of the fresh legs, the number 11. Simmons. Back to Antonis, that new look midfield. O'Donovan wins it back. Thought about it for a second there. Wiser option was to play Burgess through. Ball into the middle, falls to Mao. Watch clearance, he stuck a foot out. O'Donovan's gone down, and we've got our second penalty of the game. Mao goes into the book. It is not over yet. And Roy O'Donovan, in his final game for the club, has a chance to find the back of the net one last time, possibly. Still 30 minutes to go in this game, and it feels like We've had just about every twist and tale that a football game can throw up. So Roy O'Donovan against one of his old foes, the Cove, trying to put him off. In his final game for the club, Roy O'Donovan finds the back of the net, and it's 2-1 now. Sydney FC lead. Game on with half an hour to go. The departing skipper finds the back of the net. And this game, you just feel it's just going to absolutely open up from here. These two sides, Sydney Olympic have won 2 of the last 3, but if you look at the last 6, it's been Sydney FC who've had the better of their senior opponents. As Burgess across the face. Gerd had to clear that one first time. To meet Williams there was a combination of Politis and Burgess. No other choice but to get that one away as Jimmy Van Weeren looks to make his first substitution of the afternoon. Ball into the middle, headed away. Mao has to get to it first. He can't because Zoricic is there. Parkhouse faked the shot. That's a great, great challenge there, but Parkhouse first time cross away. Tyler Williams did well to stop Parkhouse from getting it in, but it's going to be a corner for Sydney Olympic now. This game's just teetering on a knife's edge. Donovan fakes the option short, gets back into the middle. He's one of their best options in this chances. Parkhouse at the back stick, it's Rippon. Had the pace, had the strength. Just missing the back of the net was Liam Rippon. So it's Jacob Brazzetti. He's going to be coming on. And making way, Ayuk Mao, who was yellow carded for the penalty that gave Roy O'Donovan the goal. Parkhouse now. Good. Sticks a foot out and stops that attack for the time being. Gordon's had a few heavy touches he's gotten away with throughout this game. Maybe they're not heavy. Maybe it's just the experience that we just can't see from Ziggy Gordon. He knows what he's doing out there. Cool, calm and collected at the back. Alongside Michael Glasslock, Zach Zoricic and Peter Politis. A very formidable back four and obviously kept in line by their keeper, number 20, Chris Parsons. Kucharski now. Great flick to get past one. Can he get past another? Plays it across the face of the goal. The substitute, Brazzetti, looked to get it across the face of Parsons, but plays it back to Quintao. Quintao to Brazzetti, has a go. Antonis stuck a foot out to stop it, but it's fallen perfectly for Casawaya, who's hit Ziggy Gordon. Might have copped a head knock. Brazzetti gets past a couple, back to Quintao. That slippery surface coming into play again here. And Antonis the other way. Zoricic has to clear it, but Rippon's there, and he's a big aerial presence, Liam Rippon. And a free kick the other way. In the back of Aaron Gerd there was Liam Rippon. Man down, Aaron Gerd. He's already had treatment a couple times this game, but a bit of news that Sydney FC fans would love to see. One of their former youth academy players, Ali Kordashevsky, has bagged a double, which means Rockdale Linden are back in the lead. 2-1 Rockdale Linden to Sydney FC. Safe again for the time being. Central Coast back in the relegation scrap. So either way, we've got an absolute ripper of a playoff game to come. You wonder if Jimmy Van Wieren wanted his side to know that news or not. They still need to remain in the lead. If they go back to being level, the Mariners would jump them. So you wonder if maybe Olympic will be spurred on by that news and want to possibly put their opponents down. So another substitute being made here, and it's going to be Aaron Gerd coming off. It's the second substitute of the game for Jimmy Van Wieren. It's going to be Namari Conde on for Aaron Gerd. Now Olympics turn to level proceedings. Zorosic heads it back to Simmons. Simmons, great flick, and Zorosic with a bit of space now. He get past Middleton, tries to play it across the face, wins it back on the ground, Zach Zorosic. Falls to O'Donovan, gets past one, lays it off to Burgess. And it took a couple touches on the way out, and it's going to be a corner for Sydney Olympic, and just about everyone's forward. 25 minutes to go in this potentially crucial relegation scrap for the Sky Blues. Playing it in at the front stick. Was Gordon almost got to it. Just clipped the back of his head. And it's out for a throw and a much needed breath of fresh air for Sydney FC. Hofslet. Moving this one forward, and Kucharski almost was there, just a little bit flat-footed. And Chris Parsons will collect this one. The favoured scoreline of either one of these two sides, the 2-1 this season. Sydney FC haven't had much joy in 2024. Just 7 wins, 5 draws and 17 losses. Could be on 8 wins, and this win could be the most important of them all. Early ball over the top. Flag stays down for the time being. Rippon was through. His touch is a little bit heavy. The first to it was the captain, Will Kennedy. Defense into attack now for the Sky Blues. Not if George Antonis has anything to say about it, but Gordon to Simmons. Turns, looks up, finds Zorosic. Now Parkhouse with a bit of space. Switches on. Zorosic. I was going to say a good challenge by Conde, but Reece Edwards doesn't agree. He says the elbow was out into the stomach of Zorosic, who's been causing Sydney FC problems all day long. And Sydney Olympic with a chance here. Obviously, Tenqual's been their set-piece specialist so far. Darcy Burgess is going to take over from that. Just 1 goal to his name so far. See the majority of those goals coming from Roy O'Donovan. He's got 20 after his penalty 10 minutes ago. What can Darcy Burgess conjure up from this? Burgess at the back stick. And an easy offside call there against Jack Simmons. And you feel a big wasted chance for Sydney Olympic as the Sydney Olympic women's side begin their warm-ups. Their game set to kick off in about half an hour. Upon the conclusion of this one here, great doubleheader here at Cogra. The crowd building as the Cove's voice is found just down below us on the second tier at Strata Jubilee Stadium. So still 2-1 between Rockdale, Linden and Central Coast. Sutherland leading the St. George Saints 3-0, so they're safe. Congratulations to Sutherland. Another great escape from the Sharks. O'Donovan thought about it. Didn't know if that was a cross or a shot. Either way, it's out of harm's way for the Sydney defence. And a goal kick for Gus Hofslet. Goal kick is only as far as Glasslock. Few calls for a push in the back there. Zorosic getting a bit physical with the substitute. Marie Conde. Hofslet switching the play, and Politis heads it out, and good possession gain there from Sydney FC. They'll take the throw just meters before the halfway line. 19 minutes to go. 19 minutes to determine their fate in 2025. Bit of a scrap in the middle here. It's almost impossible to tell whose ball it is. Getting away with it was Antonis, held back by Conde, and a bit of push and shove. Antonis takes it quickly though. This game getting very physical between both sides in the middle of the park. We've already had a few cards issued. I wouldn't be surprised if we've seen a few more before conclusion of this one. And a bit misjudged by Conde, and Burgess now. Can he make them pay? Taken out from behind. Referee linesman has his flag up. It's going to be a free kick for Sydney Olympic. You can just feel the momentum shifting a little bit more towards the hosts. Pushing numbers forward, and they're not playing for nothing. That's for certain. Try and tell them that. Parkhouse lines this one up, and Leon Ripham seems to be in shock that he's been left unmarked at the back stick, considering the aerial presence the big striker possesses. Parkhouse's ball goes exactly that way to Rippon, gets it back in the middle. Hofslet spills his beads, and it's a free kick issued. I thought it was a goal. The ball did find the back of the net, but referee Reese Edwards saying that he was fouled and impeded his opportunity to clear the ball off the line. Pretty rightfully so. And just a warning shot from Sydney Olympic. Another one. As Labanot Halidi pleads his case on the sideline, saying that was a dive. But a bit tough with all those bodies there. Parkhouse trying to play it across the face. The botch clearance almost fell perfectly to Rippon. Everything going the way of Sydney Olympic now. Antonis. Parkhouse, quick one to Zorosic. The fresher legs of Conde is going to get there first. Spilled his lines a little bit. And Hofslet has no other choice but to get rid of that. Zoricic with the long throw. Rippon, edge of the box. Parkhouse, there was calls for handballs. Definitely deflected off a Sydney defender. Very, very quick. Blink and you'll miss it type action. So no complaints there from either side, really. Zoricic again with the long throw, trying to pick out Rippon, and that's a great headed cross into the middle. But only as far as Brazetti, and Kucharski was the only man left forward. Sydney Olympic will retain possession now. Zoricic. As well to wrong foot Conde. This ball over the top, just a little bit too much for Antonis. Try to keep it in and stopped it from going from a goal kick and gets a throw for Sydney FC. The final substitution of the afternoon for Sydney Olympic. Will Much is going to be coming on. And Darcy Burgess will be the man to make way.
Darcy Burgess, and he's replaced by number 15, William Much.
So almost a completely different attacking and defensive midfield combination for Labanot Halidi from which he started the game with. 4 or 5 substitutions coming from that middle of the park area. Plenty of depth and options at that position, and he's opted to use all of them. Kucharski now. He's got Conde in the middle. Finds Brazetti at the back post. Politis is there to meet him. Got Casawaya there. Quintao heads it down. Camijo tried to flick it up to himself on the volley and just never got the right footing on it. It's a goal kick for Sydney Olympic as cries for a ball. There's a few ball kids around. Don't see many balls floating around, however. So Rockdale Linden have scored a third. You got to think that's all she wrote in that game. Sydney FC, destiny back in their own hands. Just need to stay in the lead or score another one. And you'd say their spot in this competition for next year is safe. Parkhouse. Slices it across Simmons. Switching it to the substitute, Will Much. Now Politis getting forward. At the back stick, O'Donovan was off balance. Hofslet does well, fighting off Rippon to get to that one. The moments and the minutes ticking away crucially for Sydney FC. And even more crucially for the Central Coast Mariners. If they are aware of this result, be praying for a Sydney Olympic goal. Much had to get through a wall of Sydney FC midfielders there to retain possession. He did really well to do so. Ziggy Gordon. Parkhouse. Try to play that one quickly to Simmons. Back by Middleton. Now Brazetti. Calling for it forward. Flag should be raised, you'd think, but it's not going to matter because Chris Parsons quickly takes that goal kick. Sydney Olympic are determined to not end their season on a loss. Zoricic trying to play the first time through to Parkhouse, who was occupying that central position. Leaving Jack Simmons out wide. And now Conde. Look at the pace he's got to burn, but it's no match for the strength of Zach Zoricic. Taken down and a bit of push and shove. There's going to be a card issued here for sure. Camijo and Simmons likely both put in the book, and Jack Simmons given a card there. And Kamijo, likely when he'll be ready after his physio treatment from his teammate Jaden Kaczarski, will likely be the other recipient of the yellow card in Reese Edwards' hands. So Mateus McAllister has also come on for Sydney FC, and he's joined Jaden Kaczarski up top. So Kamijo will have to soldier on for the time being. Possibly a cork in his thigh. Looks to be. Antonis. It's a glass lock. Under 9 minutes of regulation to go here. Zoricic floats it in the middle. Offslit just playing with his dinner a little bit there. Safe hands in the end. Conde calls for a foul. Referee's playing on. Kaczarski across the face again. It's a good save from Parsons. Strong right arm going down low. And another yellow card issued by Reese Edwards. Handing them out like lollies today, isn't he? The other way now, Sydney Olympic. Will Much. Rippin. Space to get it in the middle. That's a good stop, and Hofslet does even better to keep it in. I thought he kept it in, but referee doesn't agree with me this time. We've been on a good page so far in terms of agreeance, but not this time. Corner for Sydney Olympic. And Sydney FC can't rest on their laurels here. Everyone's back defending this one, but there's a big aerial presence at the back stick lurking. That's where they go. Rippin just drifted in a little bit too much, and Kaczarski will shield that one out. Bit of push in the back, calls for a foul. It's not going to be given, and it's a goal kick now. Just can't sit down the final 8 minutes of this one. Central Coast still down 3-1. Not saying do you believe in miracles, but Sutherland 3-1 up against the Saints. The Saints could somehow bag 2 goals in the final couple of minutes of that one. Boy, that would throw a spanner in the works. That really, really would for both Sydney FC and the Central Coast Mariners. Throw taken quickly, and McAllister heads it through to Middleton. Back to the number 33 now. Out wide, Brazzetti. Brazzetti! Very unlucky to not find the back of the net there. Took a touch on its way through, otherwise you think the net probably would have been bulging there. Great bit of skill by the substitute, Jacob Brazzetti. What a thrilling end to this one. Kamijo now. Kaczarski floats in as the short option, and he goes that way. I think it's a little bit too early to hold it in the corner. And the set piece, probably from the training ground, hadn't been worked on too much because Kamijo sends it straight out for a throw, and possession back the way of Sydney Olympic. Long throw from Zoricic, one of his specialties. Antonis has had the shirt pulled by Kaczarski, the veteran amongst rookies really in this Sydney FC NPL side. Gordon out wide now. Parkhouse, who's switched sides with Will Much per the request of Lavinot Halidi, you'd assume. Here he is with his first involvement on the left, Much. Turns it to sender with Glasslock. Gordon. Now Antonis, only short in stature, but plays with plenty of heart, determination. Zorosic finding first time, the run of much, but it's a great interception by the captain, Will Kennedy. He's put in a shift for his side in this crucial game. Now back to Glasslock. Parkhouse. Zorosic gets rid of one, gets it in the middle. Rippon almost headed it back and almost fell again to the backstick run of Roy O'Donovan. Boy, wouldn't he love nothing more than a double in his final game for the club and possibly sending down one of his fierce rivals in Sydney FC. Just 4 minutes of regulation to go. One more now, picked out by Glasslock, and Parkhouse is fouled by Kennedy. Simmons floats this one across. Again, Rippon's the target. Such a key X factor to bring off the bench. Obviously started his season with the Sutherland Sharks. And if they are to survive today, you can almost inadvertently thank him after he bagged a crucial goal against Hills United at the start of the season. Off the bench, Liam Rippon. If not for him, obviously you can point to many games that they did get the 3 points from, but one of them, he came off the bench and scored. He's looked threatening so far. Just playing off the experienced Roy O'Donovan. Zorosic, probably his first mistake of the day, giving up possession in a really bad area. Middleton now to Brazetti. Plenty of pace on the first touch. Got past one experienced campaigner in Politis, but couldn't get past Ziggy Gordon. So Rockdale have bagged the fourth. Sutherland have got a red card, so you never know what's going to happen there in injury time, but as long as things stay as they are here, Sydney is safe. Kucharski with the long range effort. That would have sealed it. So just 3 goals separating the Mariners and Sydney FC if they were to be tied on points, but Sydney FC 1 point ahead of their academy rivals as Will Kennedy wins the throw and looks back at his bench and just a relieved fist pump. He knows that his side have almost got it. Tough and painful year to fight through. And it's all coming down to this, the final moments of match day 30. Sydney Olympic, nothing doing there, and somehow conceding a corner, which Sydney FC are in absolutely no rush to take now. What a costly mistake that could be. In the corner, you'd assume this is where the ball's going to sit for quite a while, as long as Sydney FC can hold on to it. So the results elsewhere are all but done. Rockdale 4, Central Coast 1, Sutherland Sharks 3, St. George Saints 1. That won't matter. All that matters here is Sydney FC getting the 3 points. Gordon hesitated a little bit, and McAllister, who's got 8 goals to his name this season already, put in some pressure on the experienced campaigner as another sloppy pass at the back from Olympic. Throwing it away here in the final seconds. The fourth official Just about to put up the board. .6 of added time. Plenty of time to go here. Sydney Olympic, can they put a dagger in the survival hopes of Sydney FC in this final 6 minutes? Long ball over the top. Gordon has McAllister for company. Had to play a calm one back to Parsons. Thought he was fouled on the way there, and he's having his say to the referee. So he's Labanot Haliti. Throw in taken quickly by Kaczarski. And now Conde in the corner. Can he do this for 6 minutes? Probably not, as Zach Zoricic only takes a couple seconds to dispossess him of the ball. Falls out now, McAllister, can he turn? Oncoming Brazetti's, touches a little bit too heavy. And now Sydney Olympic with a few numbers forward. Much, out to Rippon. Switch in the play. It's a little bit too much for O'Donovan. And with 5 minutes, or 4 and a bit to go, Sydney FC regather the ball. Zoricic plays it back. It's a risky pass. Parsons. Oh, heart in mouth stuff really from the Sydney Olympic defence in the final 5 minutes. Season's not over yet. Still plenty more to come. They've gotten away with a couple of mistakes. Can they make the Sky Blues play? Rippon, bit of a in the back foul on Kaczarski, which the referee finally gives. Still a couple of minutes to go here. Don't think they'll try and hold it in the corner again. It hasn't worked out well for them the first couple of times they tried. Early one there, Zoricic, strong but fair challenge. The other way now, the hosts. Well, late drama, this would be a goal here. Early one from Politis. Through on goal is Much. He's got options in the middle. Much tries to play it across. And a fantastic stop by Will Kennedy. The skipper leading by example. If he missed that one, it was straight to O'Donovan, who had a one-on-one, and you just know he doesn't miss those. Zoricic. Parkhouse making the run unattended. Across the face, O'Donovan! One of the most clinical strikers in this competition. Missing from close range. Or it may have taken a touch on the way. That's incredible defending if it did. And Sydney FC's season hangs